letting in the field of aerospace, exploring the mysteries of outer space, life, and planets beyond Earth. The U.S. National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, has carried out many important missions, such as sending humans to the Moon and deploying robotic explorers to Mars. Sending probes beyond the solar system. But that's not the final frontier. They're working on even greater projects. A few kilometers from downtown Houston is the headquarters of NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, established in 1958. After the U.S. Congress passed the National Aeronautics and Space Act. NASA is the agency specializing in space-related research, ranging from flights within Earth's atmosphere to distant space missions. At the same time, ensure that America's space activities will bring benefits and contribute to peace for humanity. At first, rapid and significant progress was made, but then everything suddenly stalled. Within a short time after its establishment, NASA achieved many accomplishments recognized by all of humanity. The year 1969 marked the first time humans set foot on the Moon. Then, from 1969 to 1972, a total of 12 astronauts explored the surface of this celestial body, each time in small groups. The Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 spacecraft were launched into space in 1977 with the mission to explore Jupiter and Saturn. In 2012, Voyager 1 made history by becoming the first human-made object to leave the solar system and enter interstellar space. One notable event was the landing of NASA's Curiosity rover on the surface of Mars, marking the start of its mission to explore and search for signs of life on the Red Planet. And more notably, the International Space Station, ISS, a collaborative project between NASA and 4 other space agencies from Russia, Japan, Canada, and Europe, is currently the foremost hub for space research. To date, a total of 1,500 research projects have been conducted in microgravity environments. However, aerospace experts note that although NASA was able to send humans to the Moon in a short time, subsequent programs for human spaceflight were later suspended. This is truly unusual, especially when there are always potential dangers lurking around that could strike at any moment on Earth. Amid a series of threats such as natural disasters, man-made catastrophes, nuclear war, or even the risk posed by artificial intelligence, AI, which could self-replicate and take human form, NASA's decision to halt human spaceflight programs is truly questionable. This groundbreaking product is raising concerns that NASA may be undergoing privatization. SpaceX, the leading private space technology corporation in the U.S., has achieved groundbreaking advancements by successfully developing a rocket capable of launching into space and then returning to land safely on Earth. SpaceX was founded by billionaire Elon Musk in 2002. Just 13 years later, in 2015, the company made history by successfully launching the Falcon 9 rocket into space and then safely landing it back on Earth intact. This achievement marked a breakthrough in reusable rocket technology and unlocked immense potential for the future of space tourism. Billionaire Elon Musk revealed that the initial total cost to launch the Falcon 9 rocket into space was $61.9 million. However, thanks to reusable technology, this figure has now dropped sharply to just $612,000, or even lower. SpaceX suddenly surged ahead in the aerospace industry, continuously collaborating with NASA and impressing with the successful launch of a reusable rocket capable of safe landing. This has led many experts to question whether NASA today might just be an empty shell. Some argue that NASA is exploiting private companies to carry out its programs, as breaking away from the government and shifting to the private sector would help avoid many complications while allowing more activities to proceed with less accountability. Researcher Richard Dillon, author of the book UFOs and the National Security State *, stated that they noticed that whenever they get involved in something, I can. A few years ago, the US once declared it would stop sending people into space programs. This statement was unrealistic, even irrational, because as the world's leading space power, America could not voluntarily abandon its leading position. On the contrary, they must be able to exercise clear control. A secret project to explore space achievements from ancient civilizations, Experts suggest that NASA and the US government not only carry out secret space programs through private companies but also conduct surveys of archaeological sites worldwide to search for connections with other planets. Researcher Richard Dillon revealed that there is credible evidence proving NASA once detected unmanned aerial vehicles of extraterrestrial origin. There is evidence that NASA has studied advanced technologies from ancient times. In Chaco Canyon, New Mexico, USA, and several locations in the Middle East, many rock carvings and murals have been discovered. Among them, many murals offer incredibly unique suggestions. Notably, these works do not appear to have been created by humans. It's absurd to think that NASA visits archaeological sites like Chaco Canyon just to study astronomy. Because it is a space research agency, under the US government's Aeronautics and Space Administration. However, some researchers have discovered that Chaco Canyon holds so many mysteries that it has captured NASA's special attention. Chaco Canyon is one of the most significant archaeological sites in the American Southwest. That is a very solidly built area, though not with massive, sturdy stones. But from Chaco Canyon, many roads branch out in different directions. Chaco Canyon was likely once an important trading hub. One of the mysteries of Chaco Canyon is the sudden disappearance of its inhabitants, who abandoned the entire area. Archaeologists could not detect any cemeteries, nor did they find traces of burial activities. Archaeologists still can't explain this. They truly couldn't explain why such an important center like Chaco Canyon would emerge in that location. Surely, people must have lived here before. The study indicates that Chaco Canyon is a convergence point for life force energy currents. And this is the energy source that the aliens have been exploiting for a long time. Therefore, instead of using fossil fuels, they directly harness the Earth's electrical energy. Moreover, when observing the entire Chaco Canyon area, you will notice it is a great civilization, with countless exquisitely and vividly carved murals. Moreover, the current situation is truly unusual. The whole family was gathered in full, everyone from the tribe had assembled there. The next day, everything vanished in an instant. Is NASA and the US government really trying to exploit this archaeological site? What did they discover? The choice. In my opinion, if they are conducting a survey of this archaeological site, they acted that way because there is a connection between this archaeological site and the universe. As the key point. The other reasons dawn. It seems they've discovered some exploitable connections. This is precisely why the Aerospace Agency has taken a special interest in the archaeological site and initiated these studies. Researcher Nick Redfern, an author specializing in unidentified flying objects, UFOs, stated, "After years of research, I've realized that the government has always shown particular interest in ancient secrets and artifacts from antiquity. This partly explains why NASA is interested in archaeological sites or similar phenomena. Another interesting fact is that the CIA, the US Central Intelligence Agency, also has its eye on the legendary Noah's Ark. It makes sense for archaeologists, historians, or church priests to be interested. But why is the CIA also intrigued by this? But that's the truth. This implies that someone in the CIA is documenting ancient astronomical theories. Perhaps there once existed wise ancient civilizations, or at least communities that knew of and witnessed visits from extraterrestrials in the distant past. And they strive to uncover the truth. In my opinion, this explains why NASA continues to explore and document archaeological sites. Here are the natural English translations of the given Vietnamese text. We cannot rule out that possibility. Anything could happen, if we've already acknowledged that a civilization once existed in the past. Here are the natural English translations of the given Vietnamese text. Looking back at history, we see that the teachings in the Bible are accurate. For example, the legendary figure Noah truly existed. But archaeological discoveries of prehistoric civilizations reveal many aspects that modern science still cannot match. Therefore, it is entirely reasonable for NASA and the US government to conduct comprehensive research on archaeological sites on Earth, striving for new technological breakthroughs for humanity.